All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the winner circle let's see, today's May. I'm going to start over. You muted me. That's okay. All right. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the winner circle of May 7th. Today, we are really excited. We have a guest speaker. Today is joining us James Wood, who is one of the top real estate remaxers in Oklahoma. He spoke this year at R4, and we loved his presentation. So I reached out and wondered if he could join us, and he was nice enough to say yes. So he is here with us this morning. Good morning, James. How are you?
Good morning. Oh man, I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This is super cool. Even though it's Zoom, I'm still stoked to get to hang out with you guys this morning.
Well, thank you so much that you're here. So I'll just have you take it away, and feel free to ask me any questions throughout. If you need me for anything, I'm here. But I'll kind of take the back end and let you do your
Perfect.
thing.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. So just a very quick, small background. She mentioned that I am from Oklahoma. What's fun for me and different about my story as different compared to most realtors in my market is I'm not from here. I'm from a different state, several hours away. And my path just brought me to the Tulsa, Oklahoma metro. And I decided I should start selling houses where I don't know anyone. I don't know that that's a business plan I recommend, but for me, I didn't know that there was a big failure rate. I didn't know. I just didn't know that there was potential, that I wouldn't be successful. I just didn't even let those thoughts enter my mind. It was like, this is what I'm going to do. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to have my own business. I'm very driven. I'm a go-getter. You're going to figure that out real quickly. And so for me, it just took off. And again, got very fortunate. Won Rookie of the Year my first year, got some other great awards throughout. As it was mentioned, got to speak at R4 a couple times now. And so I'm doing some things a little bit differently here in my market. Hopefully this will all translate and make sense in your market, in your area as well. So today I'd kind of like to start with talking about some general rules that I have for real estate, some concepts that these aren't written down and on a wall or anything. It's just things I know that make me and other agents who abide by these rules make us better, more efficient, and more profitable at what we do. And then as we transition out of those rules of real estate, I'll talk about some conversations and some words that I use to help me convert, help me get more clients. And then lastly, I'm going to end with a little bit of video, just a real brief hit on some ways I'm using video and how I think you should be doing the exact same. So as far as rules of real estate, I've got 10 of them, and I just want to share them with you. Even in your country, your area, I still think almost all of these are going to apply to you. So rule number one, let me get on the right screen. Boom. Answer your stinking phone, okay? Like, I can't stress that enough. I work with real estate agents every day, as you do as well, I'm sure. And I can't tell you how many times agents will not answer their phone. The response time is very slow. It's mind-boggling to me that I can't get answers from other agents. And I just think we always have to be an absolute professional and realize that we're in a service industry. And almost every single commission I've earned has started by a conversation that usually starts on my phone. Maybe it's social media or something or email, but a lot of times it's right there, even those avenues on my phone responding. So just want to encourage everybody, have that and make that a consistent habit to answer that phone. No one's ever knocked on my door and said, "Hey, James, will you sell me a house?" So I've actually got to be responsive. That's rule number one. Rule number two, act like a CEO. And I always like to ask this question to agents is, would you hire yourself? Like, really look in the mirror. Really take a second and evaluate your own performance. Would you hire you, and would you keep you on staff? Are you a self-starter? Are you a go-getter? What's your work ethic like? Because again, in a commission-only sales industry, those who take a lot of time off or focus on tasks that are completely unnecessary, that don't equal sales and commissions, it's lots of wasted time. So I just always want to encourage agents to act, think, and be a true CEO. Track your mileage if you guys have taxes like we do. Track all those expenses. Reinvest in your business. Yes, reinvest. Don't take every commission you earn and just spend it. Make sure that you're finding ways to market your services, market your listings, and to have more visibility in your market. I always say hustle hard. Hustle hard. No one is going to do this for you. Just like myself today, I'm here to give you a lot of advice, some tips, some tricks, but I can't actually come over there and grab your hand and make you do certain things. You have to want to do this yourself and figure out ways to work smarter and not harder. And I've got a couple of very simple tips. Maybe you already know about these, maybe you don't. One is using shortcuts on your phone. This is a great way to be a CEO and figure out ways to save some time and be more efficient. So it's called text replacement. And over on the left, you'll see I've got a few codes, a few abbreviations that I use. And text replacement means when I type in that code in my phone as a text message, ZIQ, we have a big popular website here called Zillow, ZIQ, it automatically produces this entire paragraph. I do not manually type that out every single time. Or my email address. I don't have to sit there and type out every letter, JBA, and boom, it auto-populates the phrase james@bestagentever.com. Hopefully you love my email address, you know? Addresses or other people's contact information. How about Remax? The way we spell it, it can be a little bit funky to type that out. I hit RX and it automatically populates Remax. So make sure you're using some shortcuts like that, save some time. Speaking of Remax, can we just all agree how we spell Remax? I don't know if you guys ever talk about this. It drives me insane to see professionals in our company doing it the wrong way. Can we just make sure we all agree it's always every single capital letter with that slash between the E and the M? Not trying to, be silly here, but really let's protect our brand and make sure that we as the professionals are always looking professional. Now, in case you've got an iPhone, real quick, I'll just show you how to do it. If you're not familiar with text replacement, this is the iPhone version. Go to your settings, hit general, then keyboard, then text replacement. That's how you're going to find where you can enter those shortcuts. So maybe you take a quick picture of the screen. If you've never done this before, this is such a time saver. I'll leave it up for just a second for anybody that might want to grab a picture of it real quick. And again, this is for iPhones. Here in just a second, I'm going to give you the version for those of you who might be on Androids. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to Androids. So this is how you would do it if you're not an iPhone user. Step one would be throw your phone away. Step two would be buy an iPhone. Okay, that's how we do that. I have no clue how to do it on an Android. And listen, there's no one more stubborn than an Android user who won't just switch to iPhone. There's nobody more stubborn than you. You know what I mean? I'm talking to you. There's somebody out there right now. Anyways, Google it, find it. I'm sure there's a way, but I don't know how. All right, rule number 3, never admit that you're new. Now listen, this one's a careful, how to walk this fine line. I'm not suggesting you act like you're a know-it-all either. We've always got to be aware that we're here to learn. And maybe you need a great coach, a great mentor, somebody who's seasoned and experienced that can pour information and help you along your journey if you're a newer agent. I just recommend that you don't advertise being brand new. Certainly here in the States, I don't think there's any consumer that wants to know their agent is brand new when we're dealing with the most expensive asset that people own. They want to know that they have a true professional, an experienced individual behind them. And it's okay. We all started, at some point we were all new. I just don't think you should flaunt it, right? Be a little bit cautious with that. I also don't think you should ask the realtor on the other side for advice. Okay. You have brokers, you have managers, you have mentors, you have people within the Remax network who can assist you and answer those questions for you. Be really, really careful of that. All right, rule number 4, This kind of ties into the mentor part, is be a student of the game, even at the position I'm at, where today I'm getting to speak and pour some information and some tips, into you. I'm still always learning. I'm still going to these same conferences. R4 got mentioned, and I'm absorbing and I'm picking up great information that I had not heard before. Never again be a know-it-all, always be a student. And then know that the ability to communicate your knowledge is where you're going to really win the clients. That ability to convert, that ability to just provide a lot of value because you've been a student of the game, because you've had some experience. That's going to go a really, really long way. Make sure you read your contract. I don't know if this is an issue where you are, but here in Oklahoma, I can't tell you how many times I'm dealing with an agent on the other side of a transaction, and I'm very confident they haven't actually read the contract that's produced by the state for all of us to use. It's mind-boggling. So make sure you are a professional, you're a CEO, you're a student of the game, and that you know your contract and you know what your clients are signing. That's rule number 4. Rule number 5, I always say, be an agent that other agents want to work with. This is so important. Your reputation, it really, really matters. You see, I've got a picture here of my little boy next to my sign, and that represents agents driving by, seeing my sign. I want them to see my name on that sign and want to call me, want to work with me, because I'm a professional and because I want to be an agent that other agents want to work with. I'm not necessarily trying to be buddy-buddy, be friends with all of them. I'm not trying to go to the bar and have cervezas with them every night. I'm still going to represent my client and always do what's best for them, but I still want them to want to work with me. Have that first impression that, oh yeah, I love James. He's great to work with. You should want the same. Again, I can't stress enough how your reputation is everything, both with consumers, but also with other real estate professionals. One quick tip here is, let's say you're ever taking an offer to another agent. It's a little bit less than ideal. It's maybe even borderline lowball offer, what we call them here. It's not exactly what the seller would want to hear. I always think the best thing to do to be an agent other agents want to work with, to be a professional, is to give a courtesy call to that agent and explain that you're bringing them an offer and that it's not exactly where you hoped it would come in, but that you're hoping that that seller would just be open-minded, not get offended, and just give us a response. And notice with the words I just used, I didn't throw my client under the bus and say, yeah, we're bringing a really stupid offer to you guys. They're crazy. I didn't say that. I just encouraged that other realtor to position the offer in a way that just give us a response. Let us know. Maybe we can put a deal together. Rule number 6. Hopefully you guys all love this one. This is my favorite one. People are dumb, okay? I think that's an official rule, okay? Rule number 6, people are dumb. And it's our job to, yet again, always be the professional. The best thing we can do is be the better person and not make matters worse. Do not burn any bridges. I really learned this value before I got into real estate. I used to work in the Christian music industry. I'm not going to sing to you, by the way. I'm not a performer. I worked behind the scenes. I did marketing, event coordinating, but I would see artists, musicians. We have booking agents, the individuals who are responsible for getting the cities booked for that artist to go perform at. This is, of course, well before COVID. But I saw one booking agent where an artist would leave his roster. They would leave his company and they would go to a competitor of his and see if they could book more shows for them or get a better deal, whatever. And he didn't get mad. He didn't burn the bridge with those artists. Instead, what he did is he hugged on them. He loved on them. He prayed with them. He just told them that I wish you the best. I want nothing but the best for you and that my door is always open for you. If you get over to that other competitor of mine and you realize that the grass isn't greener, I'd love to hear from you. And I think that leaves the right impression with people. And as we have to deal with people so often, whether it's a realtor or a consumer, the best thing we can do is love on them, wish them the best, because you never know when they're going to come back around in your life down the road. Okay. Rule number 7, we've always got to ask why. Why are we doing this? Why were you taught that way? Here in Oklahoma, a popular error that I see is on our contract. Okay, we often don't see a lot of cash transactions. We have a lot more people taking out financing through a bank to be able to afford their homes. And the way realtors fill out that contract is technically incorrect. And I actually had a veteran of our industry, I think she was in business for around 28 years, tell me that I had filled it out wrong, only for me to politely and respectfully tell her, actually, based on this paragraph, I'm doing it correct. And she realized, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. She'd been doing it that long and just didn't realize, because it was the way she was taught. It was always this is how we've always done it mentality. Don't have that mentality. Question things. Ask why you're doing what you're doing. I see a lot of realtors in our area, they'll go work trade shows. Don't know if that's a thing where you live, but home and garden trade shows is a big thing where lots of different vendors and companies come together to essentially tell people about their business. And I'll see realtors work it, but then they'll also describe how they got no business from it. And I'm just, again, asking myself, why were we there? Let's focus that money in a different marketing strategy that actually produces leads and gets us potential business. Or how about this picture? If you've ever put out a sold or a sell pending sign, a rider on your for sale sign in the yard, I've always asked myself, why? Why would an agent do that? And let me ask it like this. Do you think that the chances of a phone call off of your sign increase or decrease by putting out a sold sign? Well, I think if you're, thinking like I am, you would agree that your chances probably decrease. You're probably going to get less phone calls. So I have to ask the question, why would we do that? Why would we? The whole purpose of a sign is to get calls. I want to save them for that listing in case the deal busts, or I want to convert them and sell them something else. Either way, I want phone calls. So unless it is a rule for your entire area that must be followed, it's not here. So I don't understand why realtors do it. So again, always ask why. All right, rule number 8, be a unicorn. Figure out how to stand out. This is huge. You've got to figure out how to stand out from the pack. Where I live, there are over 5,500 realtors. And yet each month, only 1,000 homes are sold. Those aren't just amazing numbers. We've got too many realtors. Well, why am I so successful? It's some of these rules that I'm teaching, but it's also because I've learned how to stand out from the pack. Remember, I'm not from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I moved here in 2015 and had to build my business from the ground up by standing out, by outworking the other realtors. So we always like to say, stand out from the pack and be a unicorn in a field of horses. Just find ways to be different. For me, video truly helped me stand out. That helped me be a unicorn. I'm going to give you some examples in just a little bit, as well as some leave behinds, some material that I'll leave with clients. I'll show you those as well here in a minute. They help me also be a unicorn. Okay, number 9, no more clients. What? Yeah, weird, huh? No more clients. From now on, you should only want raving fans. This is far more profitable than just another client. Just somebody you sell a house. Transactional realtors is what we call them, or transactional agents. That's what we call them here. You don't want that. You want to be a relationship-based agent, someone who really gets to know the client, their family. You stay in touch with them for years to come. They end up sending you everyone they know. They come back to you when they want to sell. I want raving fans. I also call them cheerleaders. People who give my name, give my phone number to everyone they know who might be thinking of buying or selling. On social media, one way to identify who's a potential cheerleader, ask a question. Ask a question like, where's your favorite place to go on the weekend? Or what's your favorite restaurant? Ask some kind of open questions and get some responses. Typically, what I found, the people who are commenting and giving suggestions could be your cheerleaders if you build that relationship with them to where when someone else, a consumer, asks, who's a good realtor? Bingo. We want her to be giving my name. And that might be somebody you focus on building more relationships with as you ask those questions on social media. Remember, your reputation and your future referrals, those are direct correlation. You always want that great reputation. Send some handwritten thank you notes after closing, a year after closing. I always write the day of closing. When I close on a transaction, I write the immediate thank you note and mail it. And I also write the 1-year home anniversary and the 2-year home anniversary. That way, and I put them in order in a filing cabinet. So I can literally go right back here to my filing cabinet and grab out the one that they closed 2 years ago today and throw it in the mail. I don't have to think about it 2 years from now. I did it the day that they closed. That is one little tip to creating raving fans. Maybe it's also some branded closing gifts. If you guys do that, like here, I'll give a cutting board that's branded with their last name on it, or a really nice knife that's branded, or a welcome mat that goes in front of their door. Nothing disposable, nothing that ends up in the trash, stuff that stays with them for a long period of time. Lastly, rule number 10, and this is my favorite, do everything top notch or don't even do it at all. I don't like halfway doing things. My motto is be the best. And I don't just mean like, oh, I am the best realtor that's ever walked, earth. That's not what I mean. I mean, everything I do it the best. I do it top notch or I won't do it at all. This creates more raving fans. And I really believe at the end of the day, it's just the right thing to do. So those are my 10 rules of real estate. And now I kind of want to transition over into some conversations that help me get more clients. So first of all, this is one of my favorite statements. I believe as real estate agents, we are paid proportionately to the quality of words that come out of our mouths. I hope that just hit somebody hard. Like, yeah, you're right. We are paid proportionately to the quality of the words that come out of our mouths. It's all about communicating and navigating this process of buying and selling real estate, and that ability to communicate your knowledge. I think it's a direct correlation to your paycheck. The better you can do this, the more paychecks you're going to earn. I think that's a very simple fact. So here's my opening line. If you're trying to get that conversation started, I think this is one to write down. May I give you some free advice? May I give you some free advice? So far, I've not had a single consumer tell me, no thanks. I don't want your free advice. No. Now, by the way, if I ever get that response, that's just a quick identifier that we weren't meant to work with anyway, and I'm okay with that. Let's move on. Let's go get somebody who is more open, minded and willing to listen. But so far, I've never had anyone shoot me down on this question, man. Give you free advice. And I believe that's just the opening of the door to start some communication and to build that relationship. So may I give you free advice? Here's some popular bullet points I like to talk about. I know for some of you, all of these may not apply to your country, your region, and normal practices, but hopefully the majority of them will. So the first thing I like to explain to the consumer, maybe I'm working an open house, right, where the home is available for the public. You don't have to schedule a private showing. It's available on a weekend for a couple of hours. Anybody can just come tour the home while I'm there. At an open house, I want to be sure and explain to the people walking through the door the benefits of a buyer's agent and how I can help them, and how my assistance here in the US, there's absolutely no cost. In my area, the seller pays all of the real estate commission. So they get me for free. Then I like to take it the next step, the bullet point right below that. Any property, anything that consumer wants to purchase, they get me for free. So whether it is a for sale by owner, a property that's not listed with a realtor, if it is brand new construction, we go meet with a builder to build them a home. If it's a property that, the bank has taken the house back, maybe because the homeowner wasn't making their payments, it's called a foreclosure. Any property, even if it's not listed, we don't even know that it's available for sale. If I know that I could write them a contract and get it under contract, I can help them and at absolutely no cost. the best thing we can do is educate the consumers. I talk about custom property searches, how I'm going to be in the trenches finding properties for them. They can use some popular websites that we have here in the US to likely find some homes, but those are not always accurate. Those are known for being having a lot of errors and inaccuracies. And so what I can provide them is up to date, it's current. It's another reason that they would want to work with a buyer's agent, trying to find them any house that's available. I can also talk to them about the importance of getting pre-approved through a local lender. I know in your area, you might only do cash, but some of your countries, you have lenders. Talk to them about that benefit and who they should work with. I also like to explain the pieces of money needed to get under contract. Here in our area, we have a deposit, or what's called earnest money, due at the time of contract. And then oftentimes a buyer might want to inspect the home. They have down payment, they have closing costs, they have all these fees associated with getting into a home, but the average consumer isn't fully aware of all of these and about what they cost. It's our job as the professional to guide them through that, educate them. And I love this one. This last one should apply everywhere. Cost versus value. I actually just had to use this last night. I received a phone call from someone stating, and this was their exact question: this property, ABC, 123 Main Street, this property just sold 3 years ago. Why today are they asking $100,000 more? And what I got to explain to this consumer was that the cost of something does not determine its value today. And here's my analogy on this. If I give you a home for free, you don't pay 1 penny for it. Next year, are you going to turn around and give it away for free as well? The answer is probably no. Probably not. You're probably going to sell it for what it's worth. So therefore, the cost, free, does not determine its value today. Now, let me also ask you this. If the homeowner overpaid for their house, they paid way too much for it, are you going to be a nice guy and help them out and pay way too much for it as well? And yet again, no, we're going to pay what it is worth. Therefore, we have confirmed. And when you give that analogy to clients, I say, you just proved the point that the cost of something does not determine its value today. Help them understand that it's based on comparable properties, recent homes that have sold in the, in here, we do typically the last 6 to 12 months. So whatever standard in your country. So those are some popular bullet points and conversations I like to have. I always tell agents, be prepared. Be prepared when you're talking to that consumer about a home and they've got questions about it. Have it pulled up. Have the data on the home accessible on your phone or on a tablet or your computer, or have already called the other agent asking the most common questions. Be knowledgeable. Show that client that you are the expert. Know how to navigate if the property is already under contract. I see this a lot. I don't know if this is a thing where you live. I see it all the time where a home is under contract and the agent will either just not respond to that consumer who asked a question about the home. Oh, it's sold. They don't even respond. Okay, which is crazy. Or they answer with a very basic answer. Oh, that one's sold. We are leaving some opportunities on the table. Why not educate them that while that one's sold, I know about this property over here. It's very similar. Or what about this one? I mean, go in with value and information. What if they already have an agent? Be ready to explain. I always like to ask, okay, who's your agent? And one thing I've learned is if they can't really give me a name, they probably really don't have an agent. Or if they do, they don't have much of a relationship. So I always like to ask if they've recently signed something with another realtor. What if their friend or their family member is an agent? How to navigate that? I always say things like, listen, I don't want your Thanksgiving dinner to be awkward. So I get it if your aunt is a realtor, but you need to make sure you have a full-time, top producing, experienced realtor. Even if it's not me, you need to make sure you really have somebody that understands this market and is a real go-getter for you. Because what if their aunt just sells a house or two a year, doesn't really sell real estate like we do? Well, I think that's something, well, I'm not going to talk the ant down. I'm just going to tell them what I believe they need in an agent. And it typically describes me. So that is how to just be prepared if those kinds of things come up. I love this question. Yes, this is another great one. How open-minded are you to XYZ? A lot of times this phrase can get them to do something you'd really like. Like, again, here in our area, we really want our clients, the buyers, to work with a local lender that's right here in our area. But maybe that's not, true to your region, but there's still something you'd like them to be, open to trying. And maybe it's a seller who they've just got way too high of a price. Mr. Seller, are you open-minded? What are they going to say? Of course. Yes. No one wants to be closed-minded. No one wants to be like that. Everybody wants to be willing to understand someone else's point of view. So I always love this question. How open-minded are you to trying a more reasonable price that could actually get you an offer? How open-minded are you to trying this other lender who I know has very competitive rates and fees? How open-minded are you? Great question to get them to go a direction you might want them to. All right, some more top tips for converting. And I call them leads, prospects, anybody that's interested in buying or selling. First, make sure you call immediately. There's a popular movie that had a phrase, if you're not first, you're last. So I kind of adopted that in this, that I really believe if you're not on top of it, getting to that prospect or that consumer quickly, you're probably going to get left behind. You know the phrase, if you snooze, you lose. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't know that phrase, but that's a popular saying here. And you just want to be quick to get to them before someone else does. I also suggest you call every single prospect or lead. Doesn't matter what price they might be interested in. One thing I've learned is you don't really know until you know. When I make an assumption, that's a big problem. But I have received low dollar inquiries, properties that are not attractive. No one in my market would want to sell them. And I've gone ahead and made the phone call. Let me just see what this buyer might be interested in and why they're interested in it. And then I discover that property is not a fit for them. And they're actually interested in selling their current home and buying a more expensive one, a much bigger production and payday. So make sure you call every single person. When you do call, by the way, make sure you're awake. Make sure you're alive. If you guys drink coffee, I'm sure you do, or some Red Bull, mix them together, do whatever you got to do. Make sure you are awake and alive. I think someone who calls with a real boring, monotone voice, I mean, do you want to hang out with that person? And if that is you, that's okay. If I'm not telling you to be someone you're not, but put a little more pep in your step. Get a little more excitement in your voice and act like you want to be on that phone call. Act like you want to be talking to that person about the most expensive asset, the most expensive investment they're going to make. Always lead with value. Always give them information. Tell them the norm, the customs, what's normal in your market. Educate the consumer. And it doesn't matter if they've bought and sold 13 homes or 0. Because unless you know them really well, you don't know what they know. You need to make sure that you are leading with the value. You're not annoying. You're not bugging them or pestering them. You're always giving them information. I love sending personalized videos. This is a huge way to convert. And on the next slide or here in just a second, I'll show you a very quick example. It's so easy. And then, of course, make sure you continue to follow up. The money, the success is in your follow-up. Hopefully you've got some kind of database to keep track of people who are potentially interested in the near future of buying or selling. Make sure you're keeping track of it, whether it's on a computer, on your wall, written on a chalkboard or something. Make sure you have a database and that you're staying in touch with those individuals. I mentioned video, so simple. You've got a phone in your hand or pocket. Some of you are probably texting as we speak right now. But video, it helps you be a unicorn, right? One of my rules, it helps you stand out from the pack. It makes you more relatable. It humanizes you, is what I always call it. It helps build trust and rapport, build that confidence of the consumer in you. And again, another great way to just provide a little additional value. Here's this quick video just so you see how simple this is to send. Hey, John, it's James. We just spoke on the phone about your home search, and I just wanted to send you a quick video so you can put a face to the name. And again, just know I'm a real guy right here in Tulsa. Any questions you have about real estate, your home search, anything, I want to be your human Google for real estate. Like, don't trust everything you read online, because what may apply in California or Colorado or New York may not apply right here in good old Oklahoma. We do things a lot differently. We're kind of backwards and outdated, probably, if I'm honest. But regardless, any questions you have, hit me up. I'm happy to help. Remember, new construction, for sale by owner, foreclosure, it doesn't matter. Anything you want to go take a look at, you get me at no cost. So just reach out to me anytime. I'd love the chance to meet you, help you through that process. Also, one last thing, don't call the sign in the yard, okay? That realtor's already under a contract to look after the seller. You really want your own agent. Even if it's not me, you want somebody looking out for you and only you, okay? Only looking out for your best interest, and I'd love to be that guy for you. So hit me up anytime. Any questions, I'm here for you. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye. All right, so again, I mean, that couldn't have been easier. There was no editing on that. There was no great thought in that. And you might have listened to that and said, well, that flowed fairly well. That's because I've sent hundreds of those. You should have seen my first one. It wasn't smooth, okay? You will get better with practice. You will get better as you just continue to do it. And what just becomes normal, I can do that right there, that video in one take, 45 seconds, hit send on my phone, and I'm done. Practice really is important here, utilizing video. Okay, another little thing that helps me convert, I've got a really cool leave behind material that I leave with the client that helps me stand out and look like a professional. I don't see other realtors in my market typically having these kinds of materials, okay? So I've given you a couple of examples on the screen so you can see what they look like. If you're looking at me, I mean, I literally just print these suckers out in color, front and back, and then I put them with a nice little binder here in a Remax folder. They look very professional, and it guides the client through the process. In the very left corner of the screen, I've given them a flow chart of the process of buying a home here in Oklahoma. I've given them those pieces of money that they need, recommendations once they get their home under contract, which inspector should we go with, homeowners insurance, all of these different things. I'm giving them referrals, I'm giving them value. Again, just a couple more examples. How about in the middle there? Buyer testimonials, clients who have written a really positive statement about working with me. I think that's awesome to put that in the hands of someone you're trying to win over. That last page there on the right, giving them some of your accolades, some of your stats, some of the positive things you have accomplished. And that's okay if you're new. You don't have to have that. But if you do have some, make sure you get them. Also, if you haven't really focused on getting client reviews, start asking for them. I use this trick. I always said, hey, this is my New Year's resolution, or this is my goal for 2021 to get more reviews. It doesn't matter if you sold them a house a couple years ago, or if, again, you're brand new and didn't want to tell them you're brand new. Find ways to ask for that review and get them. Those are very, very powerful here. Kind of switching gears, those were more geared towards buyers. This is more for sellers. Check out that left. I've given them some industry stats about Remax versus our competitors here in the US. In the middle, I've given the sellers the most common selling mistakes, which I see homeowners make. Things like scary words there in the middle left that says advertising as is, meaning we're not going to touch this house. We're not going to fix anything. We're not going to make any repairs. I found that phrase can really scare some buyers. It makes them wonder what's wrong with this house. And so here, I'm always recommending that we don't do that. or overpricing the house, just pricing it way too high for the market. And you end up sitting on the market. And you all probably see this too. As you rack up the more days on market, that house just becomes less and less valuable. So this also tells a consumer, a potential seller, I'm not picking on you. This was printed well before our appointment today. Okay. I've given them a lot of different places for my online marketing where I'm going to make sure their home is advertised. I give them advice on photo day, the day I'm photographing and taking video of their home. I show them a competitor's photos. They're in the middle compared to on the right, my photos of the exact same house. Now, just out of curiosity, which one would you want to go look at, right? So I think that one in the middle, that's some horrible quality. And then of course mine, professionally done, edited, looks beautiful. That really helps me, again, stand out from the crowd and helps me be a unicorn. How about these? These are photos actually taken from my MLS, our software, our program where we share all of our inventory, all of our homes with other agents. So you just saw other realtors' photos and then my photos, and then you see this. This is truly, like, this is not being a professional. Again, people are hiring you for the most expensive asset that they own. And I just want to point out there in the kind of the top, you see the hand that's from like a Google Street View. This is the photo they're using to advertise this home for sale. Or the cat on the table. Like, it's too dark. The cat is in the, how about people in the photos? What on earth? I can't believe this is what they're using. How am I in competition with these people? That's the question I'm always asking. I mean, that bottom right, that's a takeout menu from a restaurant. This is real life. Like, this is what we're dealing with. Don't be this agent. Remember rule number 10, you do everything top notch or don't do it at all. That's what my photography looks like. And it's not just because I get beautiful houses. Like, some of these are average houses, but I'm going above and beyond, hiring the professional, having them retouched. Even if you were to take cell phone quality photos, which hopefully you've got professional photographers in your area. If that's a thing, please use them. If that is absolutely not a thing and you take your own photos, at least consider an option like Box Brownie, which they are not a US-based company. I can't remember which country they're out of, but they service many, many countries. See if this is an option. For $1.60 US dollars, they can take the left and make it into the right. And all this is altering the sky and the grass to make it not a cloudy, rainy day and making it a nice, beautiful day. We're not altering the home. They can also do some cool, again, changing that sky, making it look different. If you ever have a home that's called, we call them expireds when they've been on the market a really long time, and you renew the listing, or maybe a different realtor ends up getting that listing. I used to do a lot of expireds where I would take someone else's home that they couldn't get it sold, and then they would list it with me. And I would do something like this just to help that house look new, look different in all of the marketing. So it didn't look like the same house that's been out there for a year. So you might consider something like that. They do item removal, just help cleaning up the house. So again, consider a tool like that if you've never heard of them. I use them a lot. Lastly, okay, we're going to wrap this up in just a few more minutes. Video is an absolute game changer. I'm going to go a little bit quickly, try to stay within time, but basically listing videos, make sure you don't discriminate based on the price of the home. I believe every client deserves your best. They deserve the red carpet treatment. And if you do it for one, I really believe you should do it all for all. I believe that there is a buyer for every single home. Do what's right. Give every seller that same treatment. And here's a quick example. Well, today I'm really honored to get to give you a tour of one of my own neighbors' homes. We're right here in Piney Brook, which is located at about 136th and Highway 169 in Collinsville. This is a smaller community, kind of that small town charm, yet we're only 2 miles away from popular conveniences like Reese's, neighborhood Walmart, Ace Hardware, and of course, Starbucks. Doesn't get much better than that. And today, I'm gonna give you the grand tour.
Just as soon as you open this door, you're met with pure beauty. It really looks like Joanna Gaines has been here herself. Gorgeous floors, really tall ceilings, an open concept right to the beautiful kitchen, granite, stainless steel appliances, and a very sizable breakfast nook.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and pause it for time's sake. You get the gist of how this works. Just out of curiosity, can you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you've seen things like this in your market? Are you seeing anybody in your area, just everybody that's got your camera up? Will you just give me okay, so far I'm only seeing some thumbs down. This is a perfect way for you to be the unicorn. Like, again, that's one of my, figure out how to stand out. This is not commonly done in Tulsa. This isn't like, oh, every agent here does this. This is what James Wood is doing to go from knowing no one in Tulsa to being one of the top agents in my market. I'm using video to stand out from the pack. Find some awesome ways to implement video. I used a program called Filmora. Again, it's not a US-based company, so I believe you would have access to it. It's a great editing tool. It does a ton of stuff if you wanted to dive into it. They have YouTube tutorials. That's how I taught myself how to use it. Very, very user-friendly. I'm going to skip that one again just due to time. Whoops. This was the last one that right before our meeting started, we were talking about referrals and how after a sell, I will send to a client this video.
Hey, I'm James, and today I want to talk to you about buying, selling, and investing in your local real estate market and how I can help you. But James, you don't even live here and you're hours away from me in Tulsa. Doesn't matter. I've recently helped people buy or sell properties in Colorado, Texas, Arkansas, and even another part of Oklahoma that I don't typically handle. So how does it work? You tell me your real estate goals and what you're trying to accomplish. And since I'm part of a huge global network, I'll actually do the research and interview multiple agents on your behalf. And I know the right questions to ask to make sure you're in the best of hands and get a top producing, amazing real estate agent. Then I'll recommend 2 great realtors so you can do the final interview and decide which is best for you. And if for some reason the agent you choose doesn't live up to your expectations, let me know. I'll even help you fire them and get a better one. I really am here for you no matter what. And if you happen to be selling a property, I'll make sure your real estate agent is up to speed on the latest marketing trends using professional photography, virtual tours, and top-notch videos. Then your agent can send me all of their marketing materials, and I'll help advertise your property to local buyers in your market from right here in Tulsa. Through the power of the internet, I know how to use the right keywords and how to optimize search engine results to maximize your exposure. You'll now have 2 agents working for you and at no additional cost. So whether you're looking to buy that beach house in Florida, sell your house up in Canada, or buy an investment property down in Mexico, contact me today. Call, text, or email me anytime. I'm always here to help. This feels really good, by the way, when I'm fanning myself. I'll recommend a couple of great agents that you can make the final decision on who. Arkansas, Oklahoma, I think I just hit the microphone, Oklahoma, Texas, and in another state that I couldn't think of. I've recently helped people in all kinds of states. Fantastic. Bring it together. All right, here we go. I've actually really big network and a huge brand. We have, gosh, this sucks. This really is harder than it looks. No, all right, are we rolling? Then your agent can send me all of their marketing, and I'd love to make sure that you are in great hands. I don't know, something like this. So somehow, all that's gonna create a video somehow.
All right. Sorry, I took a little bit long, but wanted to show you that quick example. Again, it's absolutely doable. You can do so much of this, you guys, from this handy dandy iPhone. I don't know that Androids can do any of that, but you can definitely do it on. I'm just teasing. I'm sorry to all the Android users I've offended today. Not really, but kind of. So hopefully you still like me. My point being, you can do this. You can stand out from the pack. You can implement some of these tools. Notice there at the end, I included the bloopers. I'm human. I showed people that I made mistakes. Hopefully it was humorous, using humor to convert. But if you want any of these resources, you want any of these examples that I've used today, especially there at the end as we had to go a little quickly, just send me an email. Like right now, here in a second, send me james@bestagentever.com and throw in the subject Caribbean. And then that'll just let me know, obviously, that you're in that, area, that region. And I'll get you an email later with lots of examples of what we just talked about today. That's my time.
James, thank you so much. That was so good. And I just want to share with our audience too that over the last few weeks, James and I have been chatting. He has been doing his homework to try to make all of his entire presentation relevant to you guys, because he understood that his market is different than a lot of our markets. And so James, thank you so much for taking the time. This was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, but otherwise we are going to take just a couple more minutes of your time because I believe Christina has some exciting things to share with you. So I'm going to pass it over to Christina.
All right. Hello, everybody. James, thank you so much. I am super pumped after that presentation. So
good.
Yeah. And I just wanted to share with everybody something super exciting that we are launching. It is our agent website. And so now you all have access to your own personalized website. If you log into Reconnect, just click on the My Website tile and it'll walk you through the steps on how to personalize your website. We're giving the first 3 months are going to be free. And it'll just be $20 after that. And you'll be able to promote all your listings as well as all the listings from your country in your office web or in your personal website. So super exciting. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, that's it. So
awesome. Really exciting agent websites for everybody. We're stoked about that. So good job. And a big, huge thank you to Christina and Roberto from our team. They have, led that whole project and it's really exciting. So it's free for the first 3 months. For the first 3 months, make sure that you're using that tool. So,
hey, Andrea, should we try and take some screenshots with James?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's try to take some
pictures. If you want to be on the picture, turn on your camera.
There you go. And while we do that, guys, let me interject. Send referrals to James. Anyone that wants to buy in Oklahoma, send them his way. And also, James, now you have 100 friends in the Caribbean and Central America. We have Costa Rica, Panama, Aruba, Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Belize, all the places where people want to live. Now we want your buyers. Yeah. And of course, people are happy to pay referral fees. And we want you to visit our beautiful part of the world. James, thank you for all you do.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's see. Christina, do you want to take them or would you like me to take them?
You take them. You're the photographer.
Yeah, that takes real skill here. So, all right. Let's see. So everybody, keep in mind it's going to take me a second because there's like 5 pages of people, but everybody give me your best smile. All right. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to the next page. Everybody keep smiling. 1, 2, 3. Next page. Ooh, I love it. There's a lot of people here this morning. All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Awesome. And the rest are people with no video. So that'll do it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. This was amazing. Happy Friday, everyone.
Thanks again, James. That was awesome.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye,
we love you guys. Thank you for all you do.
Happy week.
Hey, thank you very much for all the tips.
Thank you, James. That was very, very good. Excellent. Hopefully everybody takes on board what you said and goes out there and uses it.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, James.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
See. Oh, you cannot see my iPhone.
I cannot.
Karma.
Just looks like that water's moving.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye, buddy. Bye,
Bye,
Hannah.
everybody.
Bye, Darren. Tatiana.